ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of the Kent Holste Podcast right here on KentHolstePodcast.com and as well as the YouTube channel. I'm so glad you decided to click that link and get involved in the conversation by commenting in the comment spot below on the YouTube channel. And so let's get things started. Today I want to talk about how much you value your life. For me, there was a situation in my life that happened that changed the face of how I would continue living my life, probably till the day I leave this earth. I was involved in a car accident about maybe a year or two after I graduated from high school. And I was in the middle of nowhere, in between somewhere in Casper, Wyoming. And we were in a group of 5 in this Geo Metro. And if you're not familiar with what a Geo Metro is, it's like a sardine can if you got 5 people in there. I mean, the 2 people in the front and the driver and passenger seat obviously had their seatbelts on. But for the 3 of us in the back, there was no room for that. We were crammed. And so we were on this back road, probably about maybe a few seconds away from the interstate. And the girl that was driving was going about 65 on a 25 dirt road. I remember the signs specifically because our heads were hitting the top of the ceiling of the car. And we were yelling, "Hey, slow down, slow down." And she wouldn't listen. So we turn and we head towards the interstate. And we go up this hill. And by the time we get to the top of it, we didn't see the bottom of the hill. We jumped it. And this is a serious thing, but jokingly, it's the truth. We jumped that hill like the Dukes of Hazzard. And when the car landed, the front axle broke. We swerved 3 or 4 times and then went into the ditch and rolled. It was probably one of the scariest moments of my entire life. Because I remember the first roll, and then after that, I don't remember anything. The next thing I remember is it's dark out. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm looking up at the sky and I'm seeing a helicopter. And the helicopter is getting closer, and then I must have blacked out a couple times because at one moment it's here, then it's there, then it's on the ground, then I'm on a gurney, then I'm in the helicopter, and the rest I remember completely. But for me, it was scary because they did X-rays, CAT scans, everything. MRI. Found nothing. I had a busted up shoulder. I had a softball-sized concussion. It was literally the worst day of my life. But in the hospital, the doctor said, "Man, you're lucky to be alive. The car just about rolled over you. You shouldn't be here." And I was like, wow. How lucky. How lucky am I to live life after such a terrible thing? But it made me wonder if I could have died by that moment. I wouldn't have felt anything. I wouldn't have remembered anything. It just would have stopped. And that's what scares me about that moment. But I lived through it. And it made me have a different perception on life. And then shortly after that, my daughter came into this world. And that also changed how I viewed life. But it's funny how when situations happen that could jeopardize your life or change your life. Just how much you wake up. But unfortunately, not everybody is the same as me. Not everybody lives a life where they realize that life needs to change. Some people just take it as a joke, or they're not willing to see the stuff that they need to change in their life. But for me, that was a different story. I realized that I had to change my life. I had to do things differently in order to have a better life, to make better decisions, to just do things the right way. And I never really did that in my past. But my question for you today is, did you ever have a life-changing moment like that? Where your life could have ended, but it didn't. But it brought a whole new perspective about life to your eyes in front of you. What was that like? Have you seen the Kent Holste podcast website yet? Well, check it out today. It's at www.kentholstepodcast.com. It's more than just podcasts. There's interviews, blogs, news, sports talk, circle of friends, and so much more. So what are you waiting for? Check it out right now. It's at www.kentholstepodcast.com. So it's completely crazy when you have those moments, because it just kind of hits you out of nowhere that, okay, things need to change, and they need to change right now. But for me, it was difficult, because obviously when you need to change things in your life, you just can't expect it to immediately go that way in a snap of a finger. It takes time. But it made me realize just how valuable life is. Life is special. We were created and brought into this world for a reason. And maybe those reasons are not as special or as important as what you perceive them to be, but they are important. There's so many people in this world that get depressed about situations in their life that they feel like they have to give up, that they have to make significant changes by taking themselves out of this world because they don't want to try, that they're tired, they're exhausted because of difficult things. And let's face it, especially right now with the way things are going in this world, it can be depressing. There's things that happen that we don't want to happen, but they just do. And we have to find a way to treat it differently. More in a manner that is in a successful way. Because if you don't value your life, then you need to find and search yourself and see the good in your heart. See the positive things that you can do and create. Because there's always going to be moments where you're going to doubt yourself. But that doesn't mean you give up. Trust me, there's been plenty of times in my life where I feel like I could have just taken the easy route and just ended my life. Because I didn't want to deal with the pain. I didn't want to deal with the hurt. But what would that have done? What would that have changed? Nothing. It would have made things worse. Because not only would that affect my future, but it would affect the people that cared about my life. What would my kids think? What would my kids learn if I did something like that? Doesn't make sense. You have to live life in a positive way. You have to live life in a way that you can look back on 20 to 30 years and go, yeah, I did have a bad moment in my life. I did have bad decision making, but I decided to take that chance and accept the life that I have. Acknowledge that I am worth it. Because there's so many people in this world that get this perception in their mind that they're not. And it's because of what others think and say. But what's more important? What you truly know about yourself, or what other people try to cram into your mind about what they think you are? It doesn't make sense, does it? It doesn't make sense to live a life where you let other people control your fate. You can choose to take your life as a joke. You can choose to take your life not seriously. Or you can choose to live a life where you think highly of yourself. You see, I always feel like there's a difference between being cocky and arrogant. I don't think it's a bad thing to be cocky, because if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't hype yourself up that you are the best at what you do, then what else are you going to think about yourself? Especially like when you go into the job market and you're trying to get a job. Do you think a job is going to hire you if you don't believe in yourself? If you don't think that your life is something much more greater than what others may think? You got to be proud of who you are. Despite your faults, your flaws, you have to believe that no matter what happens in your life, you're still a good person. And as much as you want to think that people don't value you or believe in you or like you, that's never the case. Because there are people that do care. If you're one of those people that are listening to this podcast today and you're thinking to yourself, my life is not worth it, please go seek someone that can help you professionally. There's crisis lines that you can call that they don't know who you are. They just are there to listen and to give you advice. When I was going through my divorce, I was going to therapy 2, maybe 3 times a week because I just wanted to make sure that my head was in the right place. I also called one of those helplines because I would just want to talk to someone. And they were like, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure you're not going to commit suicide or hurt yourself? And I said, no, I'm just calling because I just want to talk. That's better than doing nothing at all. If you don't talk out things and try to figure out where you should go with your life and value your life, then of course you're going to have those moments where you drop to your knees and you wonder what's wrong. And it's because you're not taking the right steps. You are good enough. You just have to believe in yourself. I just want to take a moment to thank you for listening to today's podcast. Hopefully there's something on today's show that you've really enjoyed. And if that's the case, please like, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. But also do the same things on the Kent Holste Podcast website. It really makes a big difference to those who are really trying to find something inspirational to help their lives. So thank you again for listening and enjoy the rest of the podcast. So as we wind down through the end of this podcast today, I want to ask you a few questions, and you don't have to put this in the comment spot. That's all up to you. If you want to talk about the importance of your life, if you ever had those thoughts in your life about committing suicide or anything like that, what did you do to take your mind off that, to better yourself, to avoid that easy way out? And if you knew someone in your life that did do those things, how did it affect your life as a friend, as a family member? What was the pain that you felt? Because these people who are feeling these things need to know and understand what people feel like when these people make these unfortunate decisions. I had 2 friends commit suicide in a matter of 1 year, a few years ago. It was devastating to me because these people are the ones that I thought would never act this way, that had beautiful personalities, but for some reason something went wrong. And the question I have to ask is, what can we do better to save these moments? Is there something that we can truly do to help these people? Is it the fact that we're not taking the time to see the pain that they have and acknowledging it and trying to help them? Is it because we're not telling people enough how much we value their life? Let's talk about that. Because to me, I would rather see people get saved. I would rather see people get the help and the encouragement that they need to believe in themselves. Because you have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, there's going to be hard times. That's what got me through my difficult moments in my life, is knowing that no matter what, I had to think and be positive. I had to think positive about my life, because there was a moment where I was told for 5 years that my life didn't matter, that no one cared. And I ended up believing it. And because of that, I became miserable. But thankfully, I didn't take those other routes, the easy way. I chose to unfortunately stick around and make things worse. But after that ended, and I was able to regain the confidence to believe in myself, those thoughts went away. They're just an afterthought. Now I just laugh at that because I know I'm worth it. I know the good that I can bring into this world because right now I'm doing it. I'm trying to help others. I'm trying to tell other people about the things that I went through so they know that they're not alone if they're feeling the same things. We go through divorces. We lose our kids because of custody battles. We lose our jobs. We go from one job thinking that it's going to pay more and be better for the future, but then it's not the case. And you have to restart over and find a new job, and it's hard. It's depressing. You have car issues. Your car falls apart right when you need it the most. And the cost of the repairs just seem outrageous. And you're in a bind and you just don't know what to do. So what do? You have to take charge of your life. You have to think positive about your life and know deep down inside that no matter what struggles come into your life, no matter what the hurdles are, your life is worth it. Because if you think that it's not, you're not helping yourself. You're just making it worse. You're feeding into that negativity that doesn't need to be there. If you're in pain and you're thinking these things that your life isn't worth it because of the mistakes that you made, and you think that it's too late to change, that's not the case. You have to take charge. And when you have those doubts and fears in your mind, you have to take those things dead on. You have to take life by the horns and just grab it and go. Because you don't know what's going to happen and the good that can come from things when you think good about your life. There's always going to be people out there that are going to try to get in your way, that are going to try to bring you down and tell you things that are going to tear your heart, bring you to places that are scary. But you have to learn how to cope with those things. You have to learn to let those things just pass you by and not think about it. But most of all, you have to seek help. We live in a society where there's people that are too strong, too stubborn. They feel like no one's going to understand. Or they're going to feel like they're just going to get attacked for what they feel. When you seek help, those people are there to help you. Those people are there to listen. And chances are there's going to be people there if you go to a group that understand you, that know what your pain is, that can relate to you and tell you what you should do better. Isn't that better than nothing? Isn't that better than taking the easy way out? Yes, it's embarrassing when we have to go in front of other people and admit that we've got problems. But we all have problems. We all have things that we have to deal with. The question remains, what are you going to do better in your life? To think positive. That you do have value, that you are important. What are you going to do when you come across those people that try to bring you down and tell you that your life means nothing? What are you going to say to them? How are you going to stand up for yourself and be prideful of who you are? Talk about that. This is your time to make an impact on somebody's life in a positive way by sharing your thoughts and your experiences with how precious your life is. How much do you value your life? We all have moments where we are weak, where we just feel like there's nothing left to give. But we can believe that that's not true. We can stop those thoughts. We can encourage ourselves by having reminders on our phones, on papers, wherever. The best thing I could tell you to do is get a piece of paper and write down all the things that you value about your life, whether it be your family, your friends, your job, maybe it's your car. Make a list of all the good things that are positive that you have. And I want you to make a copy of that and put it wherever you go. Put it in your car, put it in your wallet, your purse. And whenever you feel down and you question the value of your life, look at all the positive things that you have in your life. Might work. So think about that. Write a list. Are you looking for a positive place to join a great community? Well, go to the Kent Holste Podcast website, where you can find Circle of Friends. This is a page to be supportive by sharing special events that are positive or even letting others pray for you. A place that people can come together without fear of being judged, no matter race or disabilities. A time to be a part of that person that takes the time to care for others when it's needed most. We are all not just friends, we are family. It's Circle of Friends on the Kent Holste Podcast website. Check it out today. You know, maybe that's what we need sometimes to see the value of our life is the people around us, our true friends. I encourage you to check out that page. It's a really good thing. But also, I encourage you to be that community right now and talk about this subject. Life is very important. We're seeing people make bad decisions that leave a lasting effect on family, on their kids. And why do we do that to them? Why would you do that to them? Why would you leave such pain in somebody else's life? Because you think that the pain that you may be having right now is so bad, and you decide to take your life. But how is that pain that you left behind any different than what the pain that your family are going to take on and your friends are going to take on? You're just passing on that pain that you had, but it's in a different form. You have to live life doing the best that you can to stay positive despite problems with your relationships, your job, the depression that you have because of maybe financial situations. There's so many things that we struggle with within our life day to day that cause us to question the value of ourselves. There's many times in my life where if I fail at something, I put myself down so low that I start to question my value. And it does nothing good. It does nothing to help me. It does nothing to make me a better person, because I'm just feeding into my own fear, my own hatred towards myself. You have to love yourself. You have to believe in yourself. So do that today. If you like this topic and you know that there's somebody else that needs to hear this topic and hear the advice that people are commenting on in the comment spot below, please like, share, comment, and most importantly, if you haven't done it yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Let's make a difference. I'm tired of looking at the news and seeing someone take somebody's life, taking their own life. And for what? Is it worth it? No. It may seem like there's no other option, but there are other alternatives to help you. There are different things that you can utilize and tools to take. They're out there. You just have to take that chance to let people help you. Do not seclude yourself. Do not hide. Be open. We've talked about this before. Nothing good is going to happen. And I haven't said this example in a long time, but it's like a carousel. It goes around and around and around, and you can choose to live your life in that constant carousel of not changing and nothing goes anywhere. Or you can choose to step off that carousel and look for a new direction, a new beginning, a new page to turn in your life. Because every day is a new day, a new opportunity. Before I go, I want to give you one last example, and I've used this before. And it's something that I learned from a person that I value their opinion. I value what they've done for my life because they helped me. They believed in me, and they encouraged me to be the person that I am today. And it's because of them that I've made sure every single day that I make good decisions and good choices. And that example is this. There are going to be days in your life where you are like on a staircase. Some days are good and you take a couple steps up. You have another good day and you take another couple steps up. But you have one bad day, you take one step back. And then the next day you have a good day and you take another couple steps. And then you have a bad day and you take another step back. But look how many stairs you've gone up. Look how far you've gone. One bad day does not mean it's the end. It's just a step back. Isn't that awesome? It's not the end. It's just a step back. It's a setback as well. Right? Everything is fixable. We all wish that we could have some sort of super glue that could fix and mend all the problems that we've had, and maybe duct tape. But we don't need that because it's simple. The simple fix in your life is your ability to take that first step forward to those many footsteps ahead. I believe in you. Don't you think you should too? Think and be positive about your life because you should value it. Value the good times. And those bad times that happen in your life, find a way to make it a positive one. I know it's hard. I know it's hard to think that we can change bad times, bad memories into good things. The good could be that you moved forward and you succeeded from getting away from those negative thoughts because you decided to value your life. How cool is that? So, do what you can, not what you can't. Do it today. And I promise you, you will see good things. The best thing you can do is pray. And you may not believe in prayer, but prayer works. You just have to try it. So, with that being said, once again, comment, share your life experience about life, the struggles that you may have had, and the confidence that it took to get past those things. This is a difficult subject because life is very valuable, but also life can bring a lot of heartache and struggles and pain and bad memories. But we can get past those things together because you have a friend in me. You're not alone. And there are other people listening that feel that same way. They care. You just have to give them a chance. And if you see someone today who served our country, whether it be military, police, fire, medical, if they've served our country, take the time to be kind. and appreciate their life by telling them how much you appreciate them. You never know how much they might appreciate that. It might help them, despite the pain and the questions they have about their life. So think about that today. Be kind. And most of all, I want to thank you again for listening. I appreciate each and every one of you. You're not just my friends, you're my family. And until we talk again, I hope that you have a great day and you believe in yourself, that you know that your life is worth it, and that no matter what questions pop into your mind, you are worth it. Until we talk again, God bless.